The oppressor, right, doesn't get to say, hey, now you can go have this voice. Like, that's not what it's about.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The organization doesn't get to tell you how you get to voice your opinion.
Right.
Because now it's not you voicing your opinion.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Oh, you can have these names on the back of your jersey, or we'll write Black Lives Matter. Bruh, I didn't even know that was the Black National Anthem. I'm gonna be straight up with you.
Yeah, right.
I didn't either.
I don't want y'all to play that junk. Like, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I hope they don't play it, actually. Right? And so, like, there are many other church hymnals I'd rather hear than that one. But, so my thing is, we can't get confused about the symbols, right? We can't let these symbols make us think that true action is taking place, right? Because they give you the symbol so they don't have to change the system.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? We want the system to change. And so right, I remember the last election, and I remember what the owners' boxes looked like, right? I remember who sat in the owners' boxes, right? I remember that Mike Pence was able to walk out of the Indianapolis Colts game because he was in the suites. You feel me? So now it's not just about your lip service. It's about, okay, what type of people are we aligning ourselves with, NFL? Are we aligning ourselves with people who have our same message? If our message is that Black Lives Matter, if our message is we want to fight for social justice, if our message is equality is important, then what type of people are we rocking with?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all parents always told you, like, if I want to learn about you, bring me your friends.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't be around people. You can't be around people who don't have that same outlook. And so for me, it's about the NFL using its power, using its influence to back the right things, to back the right people, and to get some of these players who do have a voice, some of these players who do have opinions, who do have solutions in the right rooms. Because the NFL may not have the same solution or feeling you have, but you could get me in the room to talk to somebody who could do something about the way I feel. And so I do think it's great that they are supporting, but the fact that you said, hey guys, it's okay if y'all all kneel now. Like, we know after George Floyd, this junk's effed up. So go ahead, you get to kneel. What's that saying? Right? What Colin Kaepernick did was impactful.
Yeah.
Right? And don't get me wrong. Please I don't want to be that black dude who's never satisfied. Right? So don't get me wrong. Like, I think that it's good that now the conversation is different. Yeah. That there isn't the stigma, and in some places it is, but there isn't the stigma attached to peacefully protesting in the correct manner that was in 2016, 2017 through the Colin Kaepernick situation. Like, I'm glad that we are past that. Mm-hmm. But because we're past that doesn't mean we've moved and influenced the true racism in any way. It just means that y'all have at least now publicly stopped being dumb about the way protests are being taken place. And so for me, I think the NFL has to do so much more. They do put their money behind the Players Coalition, which is good, but I think that they have to put their faces and their hearts in the same place as well.
Yeah, you summed that up very nicely.
Yeah, Ryan, and just a quick follow-up on that. And you always been about that action ever since Colin Kaepernick, really started this whole thing. You've always been behind him, and I heard you on Greeny and Golick, me and Symone watching the video earlier, talking about that the owners have to really take part of this, and like you were just saying, then they really have to get behind the right movement. They can't just do it with the dollars or do it by putting the stuff on the field. They actually have to show that they're about that action. So do you think with the movement we have seen forward, obviously it's not enough, but do you think they're headed in the right direction, or do you still think the owners are not in the right headspace?
I think
yeah,
I think the owners owners understand to some extent. Like, I don't necessarily believe people who do evil always know that evil's being done.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
true.
Right. They kind of just know what they know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like when people owned slaves, like at that time, that was what people did.
And that was the norm. So
and that was the norm, right? And so it didn't look or feel strange to people.
Yeah.
Whereas now, if their eyes are truly open, certain things should look and feel strange. Certain things shouldn't sit right with their spirits, with their souls. And if we've reached that point, okay, now is the time where we make change. And so, whereas we are getting owners that come out with statements, I will say this, just maybe, you know who I respect the most of the owners right now? Freaking Jerry Jones. And let me tell you why. People have been asking Jerry Jones to speak up, right? Stephen A. all the time. Where's Jerry Jones? I want to hear Jerry Jones. And they asked me about it very early. And I said, I want to make it very clear. I don't want to hear from Jerry Jones. I'm not asking Jerry Jones to be on our side. What I'm asking Jerry Jones to do is what he's always done, which is speak his mind, right? In 2017, Jerry Jones said a Cowboy will not protest the anthem. And they didn't. He came out, he locked arms with him. He made him do, I think it was before or after, and they walked off. But he was true to his word. A Cowboy did not protest during the anthem. You see what I'm saying? And so now, when everybody else is releasing statements, oh, we stand with our players, Black Lives Matter, Jerry ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Jerry don't believe it.
Yeah.
And so in a time where we are looking for allies, because we realize Black people always known they was oppressed. It was the other people who didn't want to get on board. In the time we're looking for allies, he's saying, you know what? This is my line in the sand. Like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to vote the way I vote. I'm going to feel the way I feel. I'm going to treat y'all the way I treat y'all. So I'm not going to come out here and lie. He's being real.
Yep.
And I think, truthfully, Jerry Jones is doing what we need him to do, in that we know we can't look to him for nothing.
Right.
Yeah. The owners that hurt you are the ones that release these statements. And then when you truly go to them for their support, they ain't there.
Exactly.
And so that's what I want to see, that not only are we in lockstep through statements, through our voices, but in our actions, that we are truly becoming parts of the communities, and that the owners stand next to the players in doing that. Because though Julio Jones may have a great idea, Julio Jones may have influence, he ain't got influence like Arthur Blank has influence.
Right.
Because Arthur Blank's a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what you need to really get from the owners. And I don't believe we are there yet. I believe we're there enough, right? Because when Carson Wentz comes out with a statement, when Aaron Rodgers comes out with a statement, that's an easy statement for owners to support. Because that's our guys, right? When Michael Bennett does it with the dreads and all that, it's like, oh Lord, I don't know if I can get behind that one.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I can co-sign that.
Right, and so it's easy to co-sign now, but what are you truly doing, right? What actions are truly taking place? And I do believe that the NBA does a very good job of that. And so in the NBA, it's easy to wear the shirts, and it's easy to do the protest as a whole and not feel like you're being led to do that by the NBA, or you're being allowed to do it, because they also allow you to have a voice. They also allow you to be in the community. They support those voices. They support those communities, so you don't feel like you're being a pawn from them, where sometimes in the NFL it feels that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the NFL has made it seem more like, okay, we're allowing you to do this, where the NBA is like, you guys do it and we'll stand and we'll support you 100%.
Then it's not the true form of a protest, because protest means resistance. You're saying, oh, Master said I can kneel this week, then we're not resisting any system.
That's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody resisting nothing. This is kumbaya. Like, we all together. Like, the most resisted person in the NBA is Jonathan Isaac. Right? Like, you look at him, and this was crazy, right? Because even before he stood up, I was getting tweets that as soon as somebody doesn't kneel, they're going to get crushed, right? All that. And I was like, that's not true. Because I think what people don't understand is we are not expecting everybody to be on our side.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not expecting everybody to support. Like, you're not expecting everybody to protest. Your hopes are that people don't stand in the way of equality.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. And so when Jonathan Isaac stood up, he ain't hurt nobody. He didn't He didn't kick the people that kneeled. He didn't say afterwards that people should kneel, people should protest. He talked about what was for him. And however you felt about that was how you felt about it.
Yeah.
You know, and then I look back at it, you know, and he talks about, and he doesn't wear a Black Lives Matter shirt. Right. And so then you see Becky Hammond stand, Myers Leonard from Miami, Greg Popovich, who has always, to me, been on the side of right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say he's always been on the side of black, but he seems to try to be on the side of right. He stood up. But all those had on Black Lives Matter shirts, right? And because what you can do is do both.
Yeah.
If you have a true reverence for this country, which those people do. Myers Leonard says he has somebody that served. I believe Greg Popovich has served in some capacity, has a background, right? But he also feels like, I'm not going to, you know, I want to, because I don't want to say respect the country. I have an admiration for the country, but I also know this country needs to be better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? Like those two things are okay and can mutually exist.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I did find it interesting in Jonathan Isaac that, you know, he didn't wear the shirt, or very much so like Myers Leonard, he wasn't connected with his brothers as they knelt, you know? And so I think that there are still people who don't necessarily truly believe in that movement for whatever reason, which is why along with the allowed demonstrations we have, there still needs to be that resistance, that action. There still needs to be that love poured out to the community, because those are things we have to see, because that's how change truly happens.